I'm going to talk about 5 themes or 5 global megatrends here. These are sort of 6 to 12 month to 18 month to 15-year type ideas. They really are all over the place, but they do. I'm trying to reflect those basic ideas out there that are kind of sustainable megatrends as best as we can predict them or analyze them. Now, interestingly enough, you notice the first 2 picks I had weren't even stocks. And part of that is because it's very, very tough to make money in stocks this past year, even with strong underlying megatrends. One of the megatrends that and stocks that has been a moneymaker until very recently, literally until about 4 or 5 weeks ago, was the stock I'm going to be talking about here, which is a play on agflation, which again is something that I started speaking about a year ago, but has now hit the mainstream press again. As you probably noticed from your trips to your supermarkets, food price inflation is running at a 10-year high, depending on how you're calculating it. Again, a lot of this has to do with the expanding global middle class, which is the underlying theme of a lot of these stock-oriented megatrends. Average calorie consumption in China is expected to go up 50% over the next decade, and same thing with India. I believe 20 years ago, the average Indian consumed about 1,200 calories a day. I think that's less than what's in a single Big Mac, and that has changed considerably. I think it takes about 7 or 8 pounds of grain to produce 1 pound of meat. And as a big chunk of the world's population shifts over to more meat consumption, that puts a lot of demand pull inflation on the grains that you need to feed the livestock to produce the meat. And so you've seen a big run-up in agriculture prices throughout the world. An indirect way to play this is through a company called Potash, which is the world's biggest fertilizer company. It's a Canadian-based company. They have 23% of the world's potash supply. This is a stock that had done very, very well in the face of weak global markets. We had it in the global stock investor product basically since last October, and it more than doubled. It was up about 110, 115%, but we got stopped out of it with about an 83, 85% gain. And that's probably in one of the publications that Maritza will pass out to you. So we got stopped out of that. The stock went up to about 240, and we got stopped out about a 205. It's now trading about 170. So it's technically quite weak. At the same time, if you look at the fundamentals of the whole fertilizer / potash story, there's a real reason to think that this is going to come back because the fundamentals really haven't changed. The potash inventory globally is at record low. Spot potash prices are expected to rise from an average of $625 a ton this year to $1350 a ton by 2011. There's not a lot of supply coming online. In fact, I just read after I put this presentation together that Potash has just recently signed a contract just this year already for selling potash at over $1,000 a ton. The CEO is absolutely apoplectic about the prospects of this company over the next 5 years. They recently announced earnings. Their Q2 earnings were up 217% versus last year. At the same time, their earnings more than doubled. And it's been a really strong kind of ride for these fundamental reasons. At the same time, the stock has broken down technically and is now trading at between 160, 170. It really doesn't look like it's bottomed yet, and I'm very reluctant to suggest that people buy falling knives or try to catch falling knives because you get cut. At the same time, the fundamentals of both the global megatrend with respect to agflation and fertilizer and potash's fundamentals are so strong that I'd be very surprised if this is not something that will continue to move ahead. Although right now it has become a very volatile play, but that's something that we set about a 25-30% trailing stop on, and we got stopped out of it. Right now, that's looking smart because we got stopped out about $30, $40 ago. However, it is something that I'll be looking to get back into because of the strength of the underlying trend.